mình về em thành nói rồi. Dạo này mà kéo mưa bom mưa chùm biết đấy. Đi rồi.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our class about business plan. We'll spend a lot of time to discuss and find out and decide your final business idea already, guys. I also give you one week to writing your business idea. That's the first part of your final assignment. So this week we will study about the business plan, all the basic and essential information and knowledge about the business plan. In this chapter, we wanna clarify the creating and starting the new venture. So let's start with the opening video. That's a short video to give you the basic information in introduction about the importance of the business plan and all the information that you have to write down and collect to finish and complete a business plan and how it's important to you. So let's watch this video. This very short one.
Starting a new business can both be an exhilarating experience and a scary one. You feel you've got an amazing idea, but where do you start? Should you be creating your marketing material, focusing on setting up your production processes, or lining up your suppliers? The answer is yes. Plus, there's a lot more to be considered. By doing the proper initial planning, you can make smarter choices for your business and avoid pitfalls and possible roadblocks. To help you in your planning, Alberta Agriculture and Rural Development has gathered a number of great resources for aspiring agricultural entrepreneurs. Now, it's easy to learn the key aspects of starting a business, such as assessing your business idea or design. If it's unique or innovative, you have a much greater chance for success. But even if it is unique, you need to assess whether there is a need for it and who that target audience might be. Also, ask yourself if you have passion for your idea. Steve Jobs didn't begin by selling millions of computers right out of the gate. It was his passion that propelled him through the long days and frustrating beginnings. Determine if you have all the resources you need. It's important to start off on the right foot, so carefully consider how much time, infrastructure, and money you have available to get the venture rolling. You don't need to do everything yourself. So, who's on your team? Do you have supportive family and friends, or is it advisors? Do you need to hire an accountant or bookkeeper? Do you know who will produce, package, distribute, and sell your product? Know the regulations. There are regulations and licenses specific to every industry. You may need to obtain a license from the county or city, meet environmental, food, or labeling regulations, and possibly undergo facility or health inspections. Researching and understanding all the requirements and regulations before you start will ensure that you can obtain the certifications and licenses that you need before you invest. Plan. Make sure you take the time to write down your plan. Ensure it addresses your overall business strategy, financial arrangements, marketing plan, and who your target customer is. So, whether you're just hoping to break into Alberta's prosperous agricultural industry or planning to expand your existing ag-based operation, begin your journey here or talk to a new venture specialist.
So these are short video already introduced to you all everything that we need to do after you get the business idea. So business idea is the first thing that you have to finish to get the business plan. And after that, you have to collect the information. You have to write down many other plans to support, to complete your business plan. So in this chapter, we will discuss, we will study about the how to creating the new venture and how to starting the new business.
Starting a new business.
So learning objectives is, firstly, we have to define what the business plan is, who prepared, and who read it, and how it evaluated. That means all the basic and essential information around the business plan. And the people who concerned, who consider about the business plan and what kind of information or what kind of plan that you have to involve in a business plan. And secondly, we'll understand the scope and value of the business plan too. Firstly, for the investor, and secondly, for the lender. And how about the employees and supplier and about the customer? All the information that the other people concerned about the business plan. Each factor have the different need when they accept your business plan. So we have to define all the need and demand of the other people when they read and when they accept your business plan. And thirdly, identify the information need and sources for each critical section of the business plan and how can we get that information. And fourthly, enhance the awareness of value of the internet as an information resources and marketing tool. Because nowadays, all of the people, for the teenagers, for the older one, everyone get the internet access to find the information, to shopping, to connect with the friend, or even running their own business in the internet. So internet is a very important ways and very important tool to the company to get the marketing tool. For example, they may be running the Facebook ad or Google ad to sell what to get more customer and get closer to the customer. And fifthly is the present example and step-by-step explanation of the business plan. And sixthly is present helpful questions for the entrepreneur at each stage of the planning process. And finally is understand how to monitor the business plan. That are all learning objective of this chapter we have to discuss and study together in this chapter. So let me remind you about the four main functions of management that you study in the principal management course. That is, firstly is planning. I know there's the other professor, the other lectures in the principal management where you study already about the four main functions of management. Firstly is planning. And secondly is organizing. And thirdly is leading. And final one is controlling the whole cycle of management, all the activities in management. That means we want to emphasize the rule of planning. Planning is the first step. That is the first step of management. That means all the activities in the business, you have to plan. When you start a new venture, when you start the business, or when you start the new thing in the company, or maybe that's a newer activities in the company, you have to plan. And even when you start to decide to choose courses to study, you also have to planning. Even you want to organize activities or event for your company, you also have to plan. That's mean the planning the first step of every activities in your organization. Because a plan can provide you the guidance and structures in a rapidly changing market environment. That means all the environment outside, the external environment changing rapidly. That means you have to collect the information, also to forecast the changing of the market. That means you have to find out the changing in the customer need and maybe the problem of the customer, or maybe the competitors, they change their methods and process to provide good and service also. So you have to plan. You have to point out the activities and strategies to get to achieve the objective and the goal also. That means the plan can help you to get finalized, and the entrepreneur has a better sense of the market and the product or services, and the management team, and the financial need of the venture. That all the information you have to write down in the plan, any kind of plan, and they can help to meet the short-term and long-term business goal. That's the importance of planning and plan also. So that the reason why planning is a part of the business operations. It's not only about when you write the new venture or when you starting the new business, when you control the enterprise, or when you organize an enterprise or any kind of event or activities to your company, you also have to plan. So let's start with understand about the business plan with the 3 questions below. Firstly, we have to underline what is the business plan, and second one is who should write the plan, and final one is who read the plan. That means we consider about the people who write down, who prepare for the plan, and who concerned about the plan. Not everyone concerned about the plan. Just the few people with different need, they read about the business plan. And about the first questions, The first question is, what is the business plan? Actually, we discussed at the first week. What at the first week? I already give you the definition of the business plan. So I want to remind you about the definition of the business plan. Business plan is a written document. That means how to write down in the document. Maybe it's in the paper, or you have to draw by the mind map or anything. But at least it's not only in the mind. You have to write it down in the document or draw it in the paper. And this written document describes all the relevant internal and external elements, and also the strategies to start a new venture. So how about the internal? You have to need to describe the internal element. That means all you have. What you need to start a business. So internal factors such as money, how much money do you have? And also about the people, how many people in your team? And the machine that you need to use to produce your product and service also. And also we talk about the information do you have. That's the reason why in the first step of come up with the business idea, I asking to you, I give to you to discuss with the team members. The first one is what do you have, and what do you know, whom do you know, and we also talk about the strength and also talk about the skill, right? So when we discuss about the internal factors, that means you have to answer the following questions. Firstly, how do I get it? How do I get it about the money? Money is not only the money that you have, that existing money. That's how much money do you have. You also have to discuss, and you also have to point out, you have to indicate about the loan money. That means who do you borrow? Who can get money to you? And how much to borrow? How much money you have to borrow? And how to borrow? For example, you want to borrow money from the bank, right? So how much money do you want to borrow? And what is the name of the bank? Because different banks have the different rate, right? So and also how long when you borrow money from the bank, because they concerned about the rate, concerned about the return of their business plan. And how about the people? You have to concern about the how to get the staff. It's not only about the board of directors, not also about the managers. We also talk about the employee, the staff. So we need to point out, you need to indicate how many people and what level. For example, maybe you need the people with the undergrad level, or how about the graduate level, maybe PhD or MSc or something. And how much more recruiting? Maybe you have to find from the Facebook or asking your friend to introduce employee to you, because some kind of unique positions you have to use a special way to recruit. For example, if you want to open a restaurant, that means you have to get the chef, right? You have to find the waiter. And if you want to open a clothing shop, that means you have to find the people good at design. Or maybe you have to find out the people who got good at the marketing and sale also. And maybe something we have to find the IT. And we also consider about the the level of the employee, because the employee with different level, they will have the different thinking, they have different consider, they have different requirement about the environment and salary also. And how about the external element here? External factors are the people around your business, outside your company. For example, firstly, we have to concern about the customer. Right? We have to describe about the customer. It's not only the target customer, all the whole the people. Who is your customer? It's not only the target, right? All the people who will be your customer. Who are the customer and what do they need? That means we have to do the research about the customer need. And that means need or demand. And where they living? Where they living? Maybe they living in the center of city, or maybe they live outside, or they live in Hanoi, live in Ho Chi Minh City, or they live in Da Nang. Because when we define where they living, then we can consider, we can focus about their habit, about their behavior also. And how to research, how to search. How can you search for the customer? How can you find them? How can we find? How can we find our customer? Maybe we'll find them from the Facebook, or maybe we have to run a Google ad, or maybe your friend will introduce to you your customer, or any other way to help you to search for the new customer and control the relationship between your customer and build up the loyalty of your customer also. We also have to consider about how many customer can you serve. That means the way you explain and the way you focus about the income and about the cost and also about the operation also. For example, if you want to open a coffee shop, you have to describe how many customer can your coffee shop can serve a day. Because about the material, when you buy from the supplier, you cannot order a lot because you don't have the space to store all the material. So you have to point out how many customers can you serve a day. And finally, you have to indicate and do the research about your target customer characteristic. Finally, you have to understand about the target customer, because the target customer will bring to you 80% of income. 20% of target customer can bring to you 80% of your income. So think about it. Now remember about this one. And how about your competitors? That all the other company, they might be provide the similar or the same product and service that you. So that's the reason why last week I asked all of you, what makes your product and service special or different to the customer? Maybe about the new feature, or maybe about the price, or maybe about the locations, or maybe about marketing plan. That's up to you, but at least you have to know and understand about your competitors. The ways of how to do the research and take a SWOT analysis. Last time I saw one of you do the SWOT already, but it's not right now. When you find the strength and the weakness of the customer, that's the way you can improve the feature of product and service. And you also have to understand who is the supplier, that external element that you have to understand about the supplier, who provide to you the raw material, maybe the machine, they can give to you the information and what to offer, maybe to buy the raw material. For example, if you open a shop that ordering overseas, that means you have to understand about the supplier. How many suppliers that you have? How many? And who are they? And consider about how much that it costs from the supplier. So that all the information about relevant internal and external element that you have to describe in that business plan, in that paper, and all the strategies to start the new venture. That's a definition of the business plan that you have to remember. Therefore, in the business plan, you have to divide into the different functional plan, and you have to attract the short-term and long-term decision making for the first 3 years of operations. And the question is, why we have to consider about the first 3 years? The first 3 years here. Why we have to consider about the first 3 years? Because when the bank or the investor, they invest to you or they get a loan to you, they can help you to accept the money. The thing that they concern, when can you give the money back to them, pay back to them, and they concern about the rate of the return. But we have to describe about the short term and long term also, about the income and about the cost and everything about the money. So about the business plan, that is a complex of different functional plan, including the following. Firstly, marketing plan. That we research about the customer, we research about the market, we research about the need and demand, we consider about the competitors, we concern about all the things about the customer characteristic, and the way you can accept your customer. We will study about we will write the marketing plan next week. And secondly, is the organizational plan. That means you have to divide your enterprise, or I have to divide the company into different faculty, different department to get enterprise can run it. And also about the board of director and how many departments you have and how many employees that you have, that organizational plan. Firstly is the operational plan. We talk about the location, we talk about the manufacturing, we talk about the raw materials. So, and is have to including the human resource plan. Human resource plan, that means you have to talk about how many people, how many employees, how many staff, and we talk about the level of your employee, and also about the unique skill and label requirement, and about the human resource plan, including in your business plan also. And final one, the most important plan in your business plan is about financial. The financial plan is the most important that the banker and the investor and the employee and also you, entrepreneur, consider when you running a business, when you're starting a business, you're concerned about the financial plan. That's the way you can understand, you can focus how much money that you can make, you can get from your business idea. Therefore, in the business plan, that you have to write down all the functional plan, short-term and long-term decision making for the first 3 years of operation. That's the essential, that's the basic information about the business plan. And the second question is, who should write the plan? Who should write the plan? The plan should be prepared by the entrepreneur. They prepare by the entrepreneur. But however, he or she may consult with many other sources in its preparation. For example, maybe they have to ask the help, the consultant from lawyer, accountant, marketing consultant, and maybe the engineers are useful in preparation of the plan. Actually, the people, the entrepreneur, in assessing this skill, they will list down all the skills to get. For example, about the accounting, about the planning, about the forecasting. As we all know that we are limited skill, right? Maybe we have the good skill with the number. So in the accounting skill, I get this here is excellent. And about the planning as not so. And I'm good at the forecasting because I'm good at working with number. And about the marketing research, okay, I never did it before. So I mark it here. It's very poor in the marketing research. And sales also, maybe. And about the people management, I think it's very good at this one. And production design. And you can see in my slide here, it's quite poor color. So I think it's not good enough. About the legal issue, I think it's very good. It's so quite enough. That's it. This is an example. That means entrepreneur, when read, you have to read yourself about the skill assessment. And after that, the supplement of the find the weakness. You can find out the weakness in the poor column. Each skill you have to rate from poor to fair to good and excellent. And you can find out what are you good at, what skill that you good, but what skill is your lack, you don't have, you lack, or this is maybe the weakness. That's the reason why at the first step I asking to you how to define your strength, and you find out the excellent skill already. But how about the skill that you not experienced before? You don't have any skill or any knowledge about that skill. So this is a way you have to find out the other people. You have to asking for help from consultant. For example, for me, I need the marketing research. I need the people who good at the sale managers. I also have to find out the people good at the product design. That's the way the entrepreneur found the partner who could contribute those skills that were lacking or weakness. That means when you have the great business idea, you want to find out the people can help you, can go along with you in that business idea. You cannot find anyone. You have to find the people who good at the skill that you lack, who good at the skill that is your weakness. That is the skill assessment can help you to find out the consultant. Oh, another way is again accept the internet. You can accept the internet. The internet will provide the wealth of information as well as actual sample template as or outline of the business planning. That will help you a lot. And the entrepreneur should make the objective assessment of his or her own skill before deciding to hire a consultant. In fact, the entrepreneur will actually they will hire or offer an equity to another person who might provide the appropriate the expertise for preparing the business plan as well as become an important member of the management team. So the entrepreneur, they have to play the important role in preparing the business plan, but they have to asking for the other people who would at the skill that the entrepreneur like, or that is a weakness of the entrepreneur, to help you to involve with the business plan. As you guys also. And about the last question, who read the plan? Who read the plan? That means all the people, all the person who concerned about your plan, they will read the plan. Maybe the plan read by employee. Your employee, they want to read your plan. Why? Because in your plan we describe about the product and service. It also describe about the process, also about the operation of plan. And employee, they concerned about if they have to change the process of production, or maybe they have to find out the cost and the training for the new skill and knowledge. And the second one is maybe the investor. The investor, when they read your business plan, they can find out, okay, they can invest to you and they can make money from your plan. And another one is a banker, the banker who get the money to you. The banker concerned about the money, they concerned about the financial plan only. And about the supplier, they consider about the plan. And also the advisor, they would read the plan and give you the recommendations or any suggestions to you. And about the consultant, they good at their job, good at their majors, will help you to complete the plan. Therefore, all the people who read your plan, they expect different. And when you prepare the plan, it's important to consider about the entrepreneur perspective, also about the marketing perspective, and final one is the investor perspective. Is even the customer, employee, supplier, or investor, or the banker, they read the plan, but there are three main perspectives that you have to concern. The first one is the entrepreneur perspective. The second one is the marketing perspective. And final one is the investor perspective. So, for how to evaluate the plan? The business plan must reflect the strength of management and personnel. And we also have to define about the product and service. That means you have to point out the advantage of your product and service and what make your product and service different to the competitors. Also about the what make your idea, your plan, and your good and service special and unique also. That means you have to define the reason why the customer should choose your product and service instead of the other, right? And final one, you have to indicate the available resources to all of these things to evaluate the business. That means the investor wants to make sure that the entrepreneur is competent and willing to accept this involvement. The investor will also demand high rate of the return. So therefore, the plan has to focus for the 4C of credit. The first C is the character. And the second one is the cash flow. And the third one is credit. And the final one, the final C is equity contribution. That's one the 4C of credit that you use to evaluate the plan. Because the bank want to objective analysis of the business opportunity and the risk. And how about the investor? Investor have different needs. They think about the entrepreneur character. That means about the strength and the personnel of entrepreneur. They place more emphasis on the entrepreneur character. If they are the famous one, or maybe they don't have any special skill. And second one, they spend much time conducting the background check, and they demand high rate of return, and they focus on market and financial projection. That is the evaluate the plan. And to complete your business plan, we need to collect the information. There are three main information needs. The first one is the marketing. You have to know that the marketing information needs is different to the marketing plan. That's marketing different. We talk about the information about the marketing. We need to collect. And the second one is the operation information. And the final one is the financial needs. Firstly, about marketing needs. The marketing needs that means you have to collect the information about the market potential for the product and service to assess the size of the market. And it's first necessary for the entrepreneur to define the market, because all the people living around you, maybe your friend who are city or student, or maybe all the people in the hometown, all the people around, you have to collect the information to analyze about your market, and that means when you get started to running a business, you cannot sell your product and service to all the people around the world, right? You have to decide your market. You have to define your market. You have to define the market size and who your customer. That means you have to collect the information, including, firstly, the gender. The gender does mean your product mostly to purchase by the man or the woman, or what are their age, and the people of the high income or low income. We also consider about the educational level. Because with the different educational level, they have different decision making to buy your product and service. And also about the family status, the status of the family status of the customer, the people, they will have different behavior in purchase. And also about the location, where are they living right now? Maybe you can do the research about the market in Hanoi, maybe about in other hometown, other city, for example, in Hà Nam, Nam Định, Thái Bình, something like that, other locations where they living right now. And also we're asking about the behavior and their habit and their interest to point out that your product and service can help them to fit, to cover all the features that they need. And also about the occupations. Maybe they are the lecturer like me, or maybe they are student, or maybe they are official, or maybe they are the worker. Up to your survey or the information that you collect about the value, about the income and lifestyle, all the marketing, all the information about the customer. A well-defined target market will have it easier to project market size and the subsequent market goal for the new venture. So this means that we start with the very broad-based data and informations and work down until we can develop a positioning, strategies, and quantifiable goal and objective. All these informations can then be used in the industry analysis and marketing plan section of the business plan that we discussed next week. So the question here is, can you collect the marketing information? That's our group discussion. So how about take a short break for 10 minutes? After that, when we're back, I will give you that only 15 minutes to discuss with your team. And all of the team of our class will have to answer, how can you collect the marketing information? Okay, let's take a short break for 10 minutes. Any questions? In our short break, you are allowed to ask any question, both in Vietnamese and English. Actually, the winter has arrived. It's very cold today. So, how are you? How are you today? The good news is all of the restaurant and coffee shops are allowed to open. So this might be a very good day to go outside. But I still have to stay at home. And how about you? Easy. Actually, I very love the winter.
Vừa suốt.
Okay, let's spend time to you to discuss with the team members about our question today. How can I collect the marketing information? As the usual. The room number 1 is belong to Dynamic Energies. The room number 2 is belong to FBI. Number 3 is Mafia. Number 4 is Ultimate Brightness. Number 5 is Hollywood. And number 6 is Young Money. Please get inside your room with your team member to discuss about our group discussion today is how can you collect the marketing information. The marketing information including the gender, the education level, the family status, and the location, the behavior, the occupation, value, income, and lifestyle. I will give you that's only 15 minutes.
Teacher,
Yes.
the topic discussed in how to collect marketing data is right?
Jaime?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I cannot hear you clearly. Okay.
I said that the topic discussed in how to collect marketing data is right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And about Kun, I don't know how to enable chat in breakout room. Let me. And how about you guys? Why didn't you get inside your room?
Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Now we do room number 4. Two.
tôi buồn ngủ. Tức là thế là chỉ anh không mệt lắm, nhưng mà chỉ hỏi thế để anh thương nó, chứ anh không mệt lắm. Anh bảo nhá, 6 triệu, 6 triệu. Anh ở cái chó này cái giỏ.
Alo mọi người ơi. Alo, cô bộ làm gì á? Nãy kiểu mưa hơi ồn.
Theo như sếp nói thì là tìm marketing information.
Quân đâu rồi?
Hôm nay sếp Quân hỏng mic.
Thế giờ mình chia ra tìm à?
Yeah,
Giờ thì có mưa không?
Thế có ai xem màn hình không?
Thấy giờ có mưa không?
cứ tìm trước đi đã, tao chưa biết đóng là cái gì.
Sẽ đánh mưa to.
Thật ra thì tao cũng không hiểu cô giảng cái gì.
Giảm mưa hết.
Ok sếp.
Không, giờ nghe nữa à? Thì không.
Bữa nay tao gửi qua mess này, mày đọc thử nhá.
Nhóm nhóm. Đây là sao?
Giờ tìm information, marketing information là gì rồi? Giờ thì đến 4 cái cách đấy thì chọn một trong 4 hay là chọn một vài cái hay chọn một cái duy nhất? Hết luôn hả? Survey questionnaire mình làm rồi đúng không?
Dạ.
Rồi còn interview 1-1 và focus group. Focus group của mình là ai nhỉ? Ủa, thì hôm trước bảo ấy, cái của mình là ai? Hôm trước sếp với cô ngồi nói chuyện quên mất rồi. Từ bao nhiêu tuổi đấy? Đúng rồi đấy không? Wait. Ủa mà thôi là sao? Ủa giờ trả lời sao? Ủa thế ai nói? Chưa về tử ơi, ai nói?
Nhi nói đi.
Ok, thôi liều nhá. Đến đâu thì đến nhá.
Okay, have you finished? Any one of you want to share to our class? How can you collect the marketing information? Who finished? Share to our class and other team. How can you collect the marketing information? None of you? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if your team finished to discuss about the way and the tool or any kind of sources that can help you to collect the marketing information. For example, if I want to know how many people are living in Hanoi City right now, how can I get that information? And all about the Hanoi citizen, how many percentage of them are women or the girl? How can I get that information? Anyone finish? No? You have no idea about this? Okay, may I ask the group? Young Money, please. Young Money, have you finished? How are Young Money team? Do you have any way, any sources to collect the marketing information? For example, if I want to know how many people living in Hanoi City right now in 2028, 2021. No? Okay, how about FBI? FBI team.
Yes, we are not ready yet, but to answer your question, to collect the marketing information, we think the first one is identify the target market, and promotion have in reaching your target market, but you must first identify who they are and compile statistical data on your target, demographics, market segmentation, demands, and purchasing decision. And the second one is recognize your competitor, the advantage and disadvantage, gather information on how your competitor market their items and what is the pricing range of their products. What do you think of their marketing effort, and what don't you appreciate about it? And the last one, I think that is the identify the best placement or location for your products or service. Where should you set up your products? Where should you distribute from? Is a department store the best platform for your products, or are your needs best met online? And this information will help you to avoid unpleasant surprise when starting, maintaining, and growing your business. Regular market research will ensure that your business is aware of market trend and demographics shift and changes to the economy, and the business can then evolve accordingly, growing steadily and increasing your profits. And that's all of our discussion in this question.
Okay, actually, your answer is almost a half a marketing plan. But my question here, just only very simple questions. How can you collect? I want you discuss the sources to help you to collect the informations only. And about your discussion with your team members, that's almost a half of marketing plan. The thing I want to discuss and introduce, and I want you to know in this lesson, in this chapter, the lesson today, that in the business plan, we need to collect the information, including 3 main information below. The first one is the marketing information. It's not about the marketing plan. This information, how can you get, how can you collect, how can you gather the information about the market, about your market size, about the market need, about the characteristic of the people in the market only. So actually it's very simple. Okay, so now T, please. How about your team? T.
Okay. Yeah. So our team is mafia team. So I represent for mafia team to speak about this discussion. According to what we learn and what we know, there are 2 types in the words: qualitative and quantitative. We apply quantitative in-depth interview to target customer with the aim of finding customer insight, and this in-depth interview will make us to finding the new insight of customer. And the second, we use qualitative for the large scale scan survey. In conclusion, we use 2 types to collect the marketing information. The first is in-depth interview, and the second is make a survey.
How to say? This is the marketing informations. Want you to find the source to get the information about the gender. It's not about the target customer. We find the information all the people, not only the target customer. When we have this information, you can decide your target customer. So if you know that how many people are living in Hanoi, how many people living in Vietnam, how many people living in Nam Định City, or how many people live in Bắc Ninh City, and then how many percentage of the woman, or how many people with a marriage already. That's the way we find the sources to get the information. Firstly, I agree with the team that we can collect from the survey, but waste a lot of time, and to collect the information about the marketing, about the whole the people around. There are a lot of sources that can help you to get the report. We get the report in the internet to get the information. Let me share to you. Let me give you to, for example, it is a very helpful sources from the government statistics. You can take the information from the statistics. You also have the English to help you. The General Statistics Office. They also provide you the population and employment. Inside the population, they also provide you about the analysis, data, and methodology and classify. That's the way you can collect the information. For example, the statistical yearbook of 2020 of Vietnam. They will share to you all the information about the marketing, including the gender, about the education level, family status, and location where they living, and also about the behavior and habit and interest. Also, so the first way is to get the internet sources, and the second way is, as you said, that we can collect from the survey. Collect. This is the way I want you to know how to collect the information only. We didn't decide anything yet. If you want to decide about the target customer, so next week we study about the marketing plan. If you want to decide how to reach your customer, next week we will study about this. But in this week, we consider how can you collect any kind of information. And this group discussion is how can you collect the marketing information only. Marketing information. It's not about the marketing plan. It's not about to write the marketing plan. That's a very simple question, but all of you make it complicated. But thank you for your answer. So the second information that we need in the operation. Firstly, about the location. The company location and its accessibility to the customer. For example, if the company, the head office might be located in the Hanoi City, but your customer, the target customer living in Nam Định City, how can you provide their good and service? So that means the way you have to waste a lot of money to deliver the good and service from Hanoi City to the Nam Định City, right? So in the location of your company, you have to decide your company location and its accessibility to the customer, and it also have to near the supplier, because you have to deliver the raw material from the supplier to the factory, right? And distributor need to be determined here. And how about manufacturing operation? The basic machine and assembly operation need to be identified, as well as whether any of the operation would be subcontract and to whom. For example, if you want to open a coffee shop, if you want to open a coffee shop, you have to consider all about the making coffee machine, or you have to consider about the water filter machine, or any kind, or maybe about the payment ordering system. That is manufacturing operation. You have to define. And firstly, you have to get the information about the raw material. The raw material need an supplier name, the address of the supplier, and the cost should be determined in the raw material. Because if you want to open a restaurant, there are a lot. So I'm sorry, there are many raw material you have to order. That means you have many suppliers. So each supplier will provide you different raw material and different costs. So you need to get the information. That means the contact and the price of the supply also. And about the equipment needed should be listed with its cost and whether it will be purchased or leased. For example, if you want to open a coffee shop, you need to consider about how many chairs, how many tables, how many ordering system that you have to order. And how about the labor skill? The labor skill here is unique skill needed. And the number of personnel required for each skill and about the pay rate and an assessment of where and how the skill will be obtained should be determined about the labor skill. For example, if you open an online clothing shop, then you order overseas. So you have to special skill in ordering. Maybe you have skill in Chinese, or you have the relationship or contract of the supply chain company that help you to deliver the clothing from other country to Vietnam. And another thing very important that is about the space. If you want to open an online shop, the space is not important, but if you want to open a coffee shop, the space is very important because the total amount of space needed should be determined, and that including whether the space will be owned or released. If you have very big house that located in the Chùa Bộc Street, so should you open a restaurant, open a clothing store, or you can invest to the other company to rent. Up to you. And the final one is the overhead. Each item needs to support manufacturing, such as tool or supply, utility, and salary. Also have to consider in operation need all the information that you need in operation. So don't worry about this one because in this chapter, in this lesson with this, I want to provide to you the basic information that is essential and basic information. In the detail, we will study in the operational plan later, so don't worry. And about the final one, the final information that need to be collected and defined here the financial. About the financial information is including the following. The first one is about the income statement, and the second one is the cash flow statement. That is about financial statement, the financial report to the owner, to the entrepreneur, to the banker, to the investor. They concerned about the income, they concerned about the cash flow. That them decide how much money that they can give to you and how much money they can get back from the income and cash flow statement. And final one is the balance sheet. That means when you get the income from the customer, you have to pay the cost to the supplier all the time, on the every day, every month you have to get the balance sheet for the financial report. All the thing information might be you have to study in the financial management, but I always consider the reason why they decide to get the business plan course, study the second year student. You don't have any knowledge and information about the finance or principal management. You study the same time. So whatever we want to study about the finance plan later. So I hope that was just only the basic information to you. Thus, our lesson will stop today. Any question about our lesson? Okay, if not, if don't have any questions about lesson today, I have something to share to you about your first part. Describe about the business idea. Some of you doing well, but some of you don't understand my requirement. For example, in this business plan, in the first part, you have to describe about the business idea. That means you write down, you describe all the things, all the activities that you did last 2 weeks. Firstly, you have to introduce about your business idea. It's not about business plan, that is a business idea.
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the name of our subject is not business plan in. You can.
Okay, I got it. If that, you have to start with this one, business idea. And then you can give the introductions. Firstly. Secondly, it's not about planning process. I want you to describe how can you get that business idea. The sources of idea, how can you get it? All the process. It's not that is a planning. The first part, the part number 1, as you can see right here. Yeah, that is the structure. I'm sorry. This is the structure of your final assignment. So in the first part, the business idea, that means you have to describe the source of the idea, where this came from, and opportunity recognition. That's all. But how about your paper? You describe almost your plan. Yeah. Also about this one. Create the menu and brand image. Not yet. EQT also. Yeah, you talk about the getting loan from the bank. That means about financial plan already. You go too far. Almost finish the business plan. Yeah, market research. Next week we will study about this. Next week we will finish about the marketing plan. Yeah. Even the location. Location is, we talk about the operation plan. For example, this one is doing it well. Let me check. Yeah, this group is doing it well. They introduction about the business idea. And the second part is depend on the need of the customer. That's the source of the business idea. Yeah. They also describe about the advantage of their product and service. That's all. Let me check the other one. Also, this team have to rewrite. Please focus on all of you, all of the team. Please focus on the two required. Firstly, describe the source of the idea. That's all the thing you do. Everything that you done, firstly, we evaluate, we focus on the team member. The second one, you find out the information outside. You look toward the other, right? You do the survey. You also have to collect the information from the report. Maybe the source of the idea came from the review of the customer. Or you organize a group, focus group to get the new idea and the opportunity of recognition. That's all. And the other part, when we describe, design a marketing plan, also about the operation, that means we talk about the location, the manufacturing, about the machine or supplier. Also about the organization plan, that is another part later. So this is the first part, that is introduction about the business idea, where this came from, the opportunity for this idea only. Okay, so I will give you 1 week. That means by the end of this week, you have to rewrite about the business idea. Okay. I will give you the check or comment in all of your paper tonight. And by the end of this week, you have to finish this one. Okay?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, how about the other team?
Cho bọn nhân viên làm.
Any questions, please?
Cho bọn nhân viên làm.
And how about our lesson today? Should I speak slowly or faster? Or is it that clearly to you to understand?
Anh là phó chủ tịch.
Just feel free to share your opinion or any recommendation when change.
I think this is okay. I can understand.
Okay, thank you. How about the other one? Thank you. Okay, if don't have any questions, I'll see you next Wednesday. I will check all of your team paper. Don't worry. But at least tonight, because this afternoon I have another job to do. Right? Okay, so see you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye, teacher.
Thank you for lesson. Goodbye, teacher.
Okay, bye. See you.
Anh xoắn cơm thì ơi. Rồi anh học. Rồi anh học. Mà lát điện thoại sợ thật là nó nổ vỡ mất. Thì chắc chắn là từ hết lên đi lên lại đây xuống đây. Đó, em có biết là anh gọi em từ lúc sáng anh cảm sao từ lúc sáng nữa là mày còn nào đến nỗi mà từ sáng là nó sạc như trừ 50%. Đấy, nhưng anh bắt record để học rồi. Đi xuống đây. Cái này chỉ đây xuống đây.